Hi, everybody, and welcome to a thing called Ernie's Eye View. I try as much as I can on any videos to stay away from or even get close to the word race or racism, but sometimes you just have to counter back and fight back. Today, a gentleman named Dr. Lamont Hill. He is the professor of African American Studies at Morehead College in Atlanta, Georgia. Basically, what he was talking about, I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning, I'm not sure. I got wind of it and read about it, and I still can't believe it. Anyway, this man was talking about Hamas and Israel having their war, which I think is just a terrible thing, but from my side, Israel has a right to defend themselves, all right? And I will be with Israel till the day they put dirt on my face. Anyway, Dr. Hill, who also, by the way, works for the Huffington Post, that should give you an idea of where he's coming from. Anyway, I'm going to quote him, all right? And you can make your own decision on this, but he was quoted saying, "What the Iron Dome does for Israel is it takes away all of Hamas's military leverage, which is very different than, say, 10 or 15 years ago in wars like Lebanon, etc., etc. As a result, it not only serves a defensive purpose, but de facto serves as an offensive purpose. It allows Israel to essentially assault and siege Gaza without any retribution or response on the other side. So again, to some extent, they are not just funding defense, they are funding an offensive war and ultimately an occupation." And he says, that for me is the problem. The problem is that Iron Dome works which prevents Hamas from killing Jews and Israelis as effectively as it would otherwise, which according to Hill, prevents Israel from being forced to lift its blockade on Gaza, but the blockade of Gaza only exists because Hamas keeps trying to kill Israelis. This man's a racist. I mean, obviously, he has been every time I've ever seen him on TV. But in other words, I guess what he's saying then is that it's not a fair fight, and we should be able to, maybe Hamas should have an Iron Dome also. Not to mention the fact that they started the damn war in the first place by lobbing thousands of missiles on an unsuspecting Israeli population. So just what the hell is he talking about? All right? Maybe he's thinking that during the Second World War, when we developed the atom bomb, maybe we should have given Japan an atom bomb too. That way they could have bombed New York, Chicago, San Francisco, a couple other places, and it would have been, according to Dr. Hill, an even fight. Maybe we could have given one to Hitler. We know Hitler would have used the atom bomb sparingly, right? No, he would have killed everybody in the world except 25 Germans, for God's sakes. So Dr. Hill, and I know he's not going to see this video. I really don't give a damn whether he does or not. But the problem is there are a lot of people who think this way. And those of us who have some inkling of intelligence need to talk to these people and talk to other people and say, look, what the hell is going on with the thought process in this country? Are you kidding me? It's not a fair fight? Of course it's not. By the way, Dr. Hill, and some of you liberals, actually most of you liberals, Hamas is a terrorist organization. They want to kill, first of all the Israelis in the world, all the Jews in the world. And then they want to come for you and me, unless, of course, we're Muslim. So, by my way of thinking, I don't know what the hell Dr. Hill is doing on any television program. I understand why you might be on MSNBC, maybe write for the Huffington Post, and occasionally be on CNN, who have a inkling of legitimate news every so often. But I just don't know what the hell this man's thinking about. But I will tell you one thing that he does, so you may understand him maybe a little bit better. This is the same man who wrote an article or a story or a book or whatever the hell it was. And it was called the 15 Most Overrated White People. Now, I'm a little white guy sitting here, a little gray hair. What would happen to me if I wrote an article or a book and titled it The 15 Most Overrated Black People? How do you think that would be received? And by the way, these 15 people that Dr. Hill mentioned, I'll just give you a few of them. I'm not going to go through the whole damn list. It's ridiculous. Ronald Reagan, of course, was way up there. Tim Tebow, football player. William Shakespeare, probably one of the greatest writers in the entire world, in the history of the world. And this one really gets me, and I'll be damned if I understand this, but Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was one of the 15 most overrated white people in the history of the world, I guess. And, of course, Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin, poor Sarah, she makes everybody's list, especially African Americans' list, because she's never uttered a word of racism anywhere, and I think that's what probably drives everybody crazy. So anyway, and one more thing that he had on his overrated list, and all you hockey fans are going to love this one. On his 15 most overrated white people list, he listed the entire National Hockey League. Wow. I don't know where he come up with that. I'll bet the man's never seen a damn hockey game. Anyway, if I was going to make my own list of the 15 most overrated black people, I know I'd have Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson on there. I'd probably throw in Juan Williams from Fox News, because this panty-waist Obama lapdog just drives me nuts. He probably does most of you too. I can't stand the man. I don't know why he even has a show. I know why he got thrown off of what was it, PBS, I think, or NCR, whoever the hell it was. But I don't understand, I guess, why you come up with a list of the 15 most overrated black people, and then you make a comment about Hamas and Israel, that they're not having a fair fight, and that Hamas should be allowed to kill more Israelis than they have. Dr. Lamont Hill, where in the hell is your head? There's one more thing I'd like to mention to you very quickly, and this was mentioned to me the other day, and I heard part of it on Dennis Prager's show, and it really struck home. When I grew up, and most of the people my age, and a lot of people a lot younger than me, when we heard of the Constitution and read the Constitution and read it and memorized it for school and things like that, we all felt, and still do, it was one of the greatest documents in the history of the world, better than the Magna Carta. And we also thought of the founders of our country as some of the greatest men that probably ever walked on this earth. Now, according to Dennis Prager and probably a lot of people, and now that I think about it, a lot of people that I know, America right now is so damn uninformed. I don't know what they're teaching in school, but in most of the schools it's not very good. But nowadays, most of the people, not most of the people, but a good portion of people, when they see, especially our African American brothers, when they see the founding fathers, you know what they're thinking of now? And this includes all of us little white Americans too. You know what they think of now? They think of rich, old white men who had slaves, and they did. And in those days, it was okay to have slaves. But some of the slave people need to remember that it was the black people who sold the black people to the white people. Doesn't make it right. It makes it still as wrong as it ever has been or ever will be. But I think we need to keep that as a footnote right along next to the angry old white men. And I'm getting real tired of hearing anybody say angry old white men. Because you're a conservative doesn't mean you're an angry old white man. I'm angry tonight because I get a list of the 15 most overrated white people. And if I make a list, and I'll say it again, if I make a list of the 15 most overrated black people, I will be considered a racist and have called every despicable word that you can think of, or that anybody can think of. And I think it's time America took hold of itself and got back on their feet, saluted the flag, and thought about the Constitution. And my thought to everybody here right now would be pick up a copy. You can get it on your iPhone. Read the Constitution. It's a wonderful document. It's an absolutely near-perfect document. Our president doesn't like it, but there's a lot of things that our president doesn't like that I don't like. I have never agreed with him. You know that. You've known that for years. He's proven himself to me as a do-nothing president. The man is weak. We have a Marine in Mexico. He's been down there for how many months now? Our president hasn't even made a telephone call or said, hey, let's get this man back. He doesn't care. He's too busy doing whatever the hell it is that he does. He doesn't pay attention to anything that's going on except his golf game. And like I said before, his swing really sucks. The man probably should play more golf. At least when he's playing golf, he's not screwing anybody. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to say. I want to know where our leader is. I want to know why people don't know anything about the Constitution. They don't know who the first president of the United States was. I think it's time we got back to history. I think it's time we got our country back. I think it's time we took it back from some of the people who are running it, like Nancy Pelosi, and I don't know where the hell Harry Reid came from, but I've got a pretty good idea. Eric Holder and people like that are running the country. They're using it for their own purpose. Most of us have an idea what the purpose is. But anyway, I wanted to mention Dr. Lamont Hill because it really rubbed me wrong. And look it up on the internet. You can read about all the 15 most overrated white people. Just Google Lamont Hill and you can read them right there for yourself. But Babe Ruth? Are you kidding me? Babe Ruth was a hero. So was Tim Tebow. But they're Christians. Both of them are Christians, so that makes you open. All right? We'll talk about Christians in another video. Hey, thank you for watching, and tell your friends about this video if you like it. If you don't like it, tell your friends about it anyway. Then they can email me and bitch me out. All right? Anyway, God bless America, and Molon Labe. Good night.